from the sea to the sea, up the rivers of life. Endlessly, they always return to the place they began. For a million years, they swam and swam and swam. Redbacks, moving in the stream, humpbacks, dancing in a dream. Nose to tail, they circle round and round. Go back to the spawning.
Congratulations to everyone for standing up for our salmon. It's wonderful to see you here. I really want to commend you for honoring the beautiful relatives, the Chayethan. Our word in our Squamish language for the salmon people is Chayethan, those who give of themselves for the life of all other people. And this is a sacred agreement we have with the salmon going right back to the mythological times in our laws as Haudenosaunee people, as Coast Salish people. It's not science to us, it's 10,000 years of knowing. It's that relationship that we have that is sacred to us. And our way of life certainly has been impacted. We need people to be accountable. We need corporates and we need governments to be accountable to the impacts that they are putting upon our children. So it's really important what you're doing, standing in unity. In Chomo, Chinchinstwai, Ayatawai, these are all words that our elders use, talking to us about cooperation, harmony, and unity with one another and with all of creation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here with us. I'd like to, first of all, thank the Squamish for welcoming us to the territory here. And I'm Marilyn Baptiste, Chief of the Honeygoodeen First Nations, one of the 6 Tycoteen communities. And we stand guard at the headwaters of the Taseko River and the Chilcotin. We, of course, did not hesitate to join Alexandra Morton in this great journey down the Fraser River. I had my youth, Marie, as well as my elder, my drummer and singer, Gilbert Salmon, with us on this journey, and representing our people as a part of the salmon people as well. It is a part of our Aboriginal right, our Aboriginal being. We are connected to the land and the water. It is our duty and responsibility to protect the wild salmon and our waters. And I would like to just encourage everybody, of course, to continue to stand with Alexandra and all of us to save our wild salmon. We, of course, are also fighting to save our wild rainbow trout of Fish Lake that is directly above the headwaters of the Taseko River that goes into the Chilco and down into the Chilcotin and into the Fraser. We are fighting against Taseko Mines Limited and their Prosperity gold and copper mine. They would like to drain Fish Lake that is home to the wild rainbow trout, over 85,000 rainbow trout. And
contrary to what the farms are saying, the problem is not over. I am speaking for wilderness tourism operators who are seeing this year the lack of pig salmon returns in the Broughton Archipelago and up in Smith Inlet and other salmon, chum and coho in Bella Coola, and it's frightening. I've got an operator here today, Lindsay Pattinson from Tide Drift Tours, who will tell you he's seen starving grizzly bears. When the farmers tell us that they've given all this data out, 21 farms and all this, it's just a little teeny bit. There's 128 farms that we need the data from. We need to know exactly what's happening on the farms when the baby salmon swim by. We know what salmon come back, we know what salmon go out, and we know and we see them being devastated by the farms as they go past. Is that the whole thing? We don't know, because we don't have the information. We need all the information that's available from the farms, from the DFO, and it should be posted on the website every day so we can put the best research minds in the province and in the country together to solve this problem. I just wanted to tell you, when we hear from the salmon farmers that they are concerned about their 6,000 jobs, they're not concerned about our 28,000 jobs in nature-based tourism and the tens of thousands of jobs in commercial fishing. and the tens of thousands of jobs that the First Nation people and their livelihood are suffering. That's what's at stake here. And everywhere we go in this province, everywhere we go and do our own sampling, we find it all contrary to what DFO and what the salmon farmers tell us.
My traditional name is Owadi. I'm the elected chief of the Kwikwasu-Tenuk-Kwapmis First Nation of Guilford Island. Many of you know our territories as the Broughton Archipelago, and it is in this stretch of coast that fish farms must go. There's no question in our minds. I think it is time now for the Cohen inquiry to dig deep, to get past the unpleasant truths that industry is trying to hide from you as Canadians. It's time that you are satisfied with how this industry is monitored, how this industry operates. It is beyond time now that they've been allowed to have their way with your environment and our fisheries. It is unacceptable. I'm so glad to see so many of you here on such a wonderful, wet British Columbia day to stand here and be united so the Cohen inquiry can know that there are many people that have a very deep, heartfelt concern for the wild salmon. Today we stand on the verge of Canada wanting, they're flirting with the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. For the shame of Canada internationally, they voted no 4 times. And in that declaration, it gives breath to First Nations rights, it gives breath to our title, it gives breath to us having a say and decision-making for what goes on in our territories, to set environmental standards, to safeguard our food sources. And these are primary pieces of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. And Canada voted no. And that is unacceptable to me. I've traveled to Norway a number of times, and I met with the shareholders from Cermaq and the shareholders from Marine Harvest. And I presented each of them with a copy of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. Because Norway voted yes in support of this document. And in the next breath, I handed them another piece of paper that gave them a description of how we wanted fish farms to operate and not operate in our territory. And they just threw it aside, and it did not matter. So I think that the international community needs to know the Norwegian government says one thing on behalf of the good people of Norway, and the industry thumbs their nose at that very same declaration and comes here and exploits our territory and our resources. It's unacceptable.
The message is clear. Protect wild salmon. All British Columbians and Canadians want to see our wild salmon protected. We need to send a strong message to not only the Cohen Commission, but to the federal government that we need our wild salmon protected. We need our salmon protected, and we need these farms to move to closed containment now. Now I want to put it in language that the Harper Conservatives can understand. As a minimum mandatory, we need closed containment. A minimum mandatory closed containment. Now that's something I think even the Harper Conservatives understand.
There's just a couple things I want to say. One is it's our right to have wild salmon. We don't even need to find a reason. Of course there are reasons. They're good for our economy, they're good for our environment, they feed our soul. I have started the wildsalmonpeople.ca so that we can continue to be united, form a voting bloc, and get more politicians in there like Finn Donnelly. People who understand us, who work for the people. Because this is not just about salmon, it's about the democracy that we're losing. It's about our ability to survive. It's about our communities. And I want every one of you to know that you hold the power to change this. We are not livestock. We can think, we can vote, and we can do as we did today. Powerfully, peacefully, make ourselves visible and make ourselves clearly understood. So join me at wildsalmonpeople.ca. I'm going to interview every single politician in British Columbia, federal and provincial. And I'm going to ask them how they plan to let us survive. Because as the wild salmon go, so we go. We are the top carnivore of this province. We need everything underneath of us. I have just traveled 1,000 kilometers up the Fraser watershed. The last bit I did with Margot French, careening around about on some dirt roads up above the Alaskan border. And every single spawning grounds that these salmon go to, there are people standing guard because they understand. It's phenomenal to be part of you, and thank you so much to all of you paddlers who went down the river with me. I love all of you. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you to the Musqueam First Nations, Salish First Nations, all of the people of the islands. I love you all for who you are, what you stand up for. I am Margot French from Tackle Lake First Nation. My traditional name is Samhlots, what means when the fish goes up the river, it has a little foam at the end of the tail. That's my name, and that's who I'm protecting, is the wild salmon. The salmon that goes up into my territory travels 1,000 kilometers from Vancouver all the way up to the Drifted Valley. So I think if they can do it, we can stand behind them and protect them against the fish farms, against the pollution, against all industries. Wild salmon is my life. I started it back in 1986, and I'm not going to give up until I'm gone. The next 7 generations will know about this. I am strong, I am woman, and I am standing up for my rights. And my chief, Dolly Abraham from Tackle Lake Band, wrote a letter to the people of this area saying, Cohen Commission, please listen to us as we are one people. Does not matter you're red, yellow, black, or white. We all stand as one. So this is what we stand for, Cohen Commission. I love you all, and again, thanks to the Salish.